Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be playing Modern Beta, and this is going to become a podcast series talking about Minecraft, worldly news, and stuff going on in the server. So, joined by my friend here, Bilbs, today we're going to be answering the age-old question, power scaling, modern versus beta.
What's good, Willius? And when you talk about like beta Minecraft, you would think that beta Minecraft would be simpler because there's less things in the game. And well, that would be true for some people after a certain point. Sure, the progression is shorter, but would you think that is true for all of the progression? You know, the beginning part and the end part. Like sure, it's shorter because you just kind of get up to iron and diamond and then you're done, but like what would you say the real difference is?
I would say the real difference is the amount of, for modern, there's certain structures that you need in order to succeed even faster because experience and leveling and enchanting all help get up to be able to be like more powerful than you already are. I think it was a great addition to the game, but I don't think the 1.14 update helped it any because of the villager problem. I would say that villagers in 1.14 made it easier to be able to get all that stuff. But I mean, I don't know what's your opinion on
I would say villagers are a problem, but I would say the biggest difference is if we take it more of a beta lens. Um, in beta Minecraft, the difficulty is much more difficult, in my opinion. I don't have direct evidence as of now. However, I would say that in beta Minecraft, the actual difficulty is different mostly because of how there's less items to get to. Even when you get to diamond armor and diamond tools in the game, you feel pretty unstoppable, but two or one creeper explosions will still kill you in beta Minecraft. You're never fully able to negate all damage altogether. So there's constantly a pressure to continue to make yourself stronger. Also, the fact that armor doesn't really care about your type means that the actual armor that is the most efficient for people to use is iron armor, and diamond being the best tools being used. I think, just as a tangent, that's a great way to make a less or more diverse tool system. Anyways, back to the topic of the difficulty in modern Minecraft, there is many more ways to become essentially a god compared to other games. Um, in modern Minecraft, a shield negates all damage immediately, and that is a big problem. I think shields are one of the biggest things that ruined modern Minecraft, personally, and just the combat update as a whole. What's your thoughts?
I agree there that the combat update definitely did ruin a lot of things, but it added so many great things to balance that out of how crap it was, like Elytra. I don't know if flying should be possible in survival, but the fact is the world is going to get bigger with every update, so I mean travel's going to be essential if you want to get from biome to biome, especially
That
if you're still playing on
simple
one world.
question is incorrect. That's not true. The world has always been the same size. It's always been infinite.
It has, technically, but what I'm saying is that if you stay on that same world and you have to generate more chunks for every new update, it makes it easier to get there, to get the new items or whatever you may say. Now, nether
Oh, I
travel
agree
would be
with
more
what you're
efficient.
saying, but the problem is that you're talking about a very small percentage of players who have forever worlds.
Yes,
Most players do not have forever worlds like that.
which is upsetting because I feel like everybody should. But I would say Totems of Dying is definitely one of the worst things they probably added to the game because it's even better than a shield at that point because you don't even have to hold it up or actually know how to use it. It just does the work for you. You just hold it in the other hand, and you basically play. Ah, you thought I died. I didn't. Basically, yeah.
There's also the simple problem with the fact that there are different versions of Minecraft that are not just single player survival mode. There's also hardcore mode. If you play hardcore or hardcore adjacent challenge in something like beta, alpha, or even like very early updates of Minecraft, you will probably die the first 60 times before you make it past like the first 30 days. Um, and you're never fully away from danger in a hardcore world during in those updates. However, once you get some form of a raid farm in a modern Minecraft version, you unlock survival mode. And this is a really horrible way to have your game if you are able to make a challenge that is supposed to be a challenge and turn it into the same gameplay as a non-challenge version through just other things that are in your game. That makes it redundant. If you can make yourself into survival mode, then that's the same thing as making yourself immortal in survival mode, if that makes any sense. Like, you're just one step above that now.
I would definitely agree there. I would say totems give an unfair advantage, especially in hardcore when the whole purpose is not to die, and you're basically just negating all of that damage inflicted onto you. And, well, yes, the only thing I could think that you would die, even if you did have a totem, would be the end void. But probability of you falling in there, especially if you're, if you have a totem, you probably also have an elytra, so you can negate all that as well if you're smart. But I feel like totems is the easy way to go. Now, I would like to see a real Minecraft hardcore YouTuber use no totems and like stay purely like no farms and see how far they can get. I would like to see that. Now, mob farms, I would say yes, but raid farms, iron farms, I would say no to because that just
You
gives you.
know, there's a really easy way this could happen is if somebody did a hardcore Skyblock video,
There you go.
100 days of Skyblock. I bet there's one that exists. And I bet that would be a lot of fun to watch personally because that's true hardcore. You have only one chance. I bet you can still eventually get totems in that. I bet you could make a village, get a raid captain to spawn next to you, and then make the village have a raid, and then get totems that way. So I guess even then you can still get them in a Skyblock world. So there's not much you can do. I guess you would really need to just play an older version of Minecraft to have a true hardcore experience. At least that's how I feel nowadays.
I would say the best one version for that to play true hardcore would probably be 1.13 because it does not add the what's it called? It does not add the villager, the new trading system, nor the pillagers, so there's no way to get totems. I mean, never mind. There is a
Sorry,
way
I
to
got
get
music on in
totems.
the game.
There is a way to get totems, but I feel like if you just negate a woodland mansion altogether, you would be fine. But if you want to go without woodland mansion and no totems at all, then play before 1.11. I feel like that would be the best route if you really wanted
I think the
no
best
totems.
hardcore mode to play would be 1.8.
That as well, yes.
That is still not the best version either. A hardcore challenge, not one that's specifically told by the rules of hardcore mode, because it doesn't exist in this version, if I remember correctly. But beta would be a very interesting hardcore playthrough. In fact, my first time on modern beta, for the first 3 days of playtime, I was trying to see how long I could get without dying even once. And I made it 3 days of IRL time with almost 2 days of playtime before I had my first death, and that's because I went AFK outside. I got too comfortable and I died. Um, and that was the first death I had on the server. And that was a real challenge to not die once. And this is with a server that has active, all of this infrastructure to make it as comfortable as possible for anybody who's really starting out and is a real noob. And I was only able to make it 3 days.
That's amazing though that it takes like you think this is like new Minecraft, but eventually like it reality hits you and it sets in and this is like a version of Minecraft where it didn't tolerate your laziness or I want to say
Oh my god, yeah.
non-effort. It didn't tolerate your
So
lackness of caring.
in modern Minecraft, there's a bunch of dumb shit. Like, I don't remember if this is a thing that is in old Minecraft, but I know it's in modern Minecraft for sure. And that is monsters do not spawn 30 blocks around you. Now, albeit the only monster that does have a line of sight above 30 blocks is the zombies. The zombies will still get to you if you just stand still. But all the other mobs will not go to you, which means you can avoid things like creepers, skeletons, all that by just not interacting, right? You can just not do anything and you'll be fine. So AFKing is pretty safe, which means if you just build up a little bit, you'll be fine for ever if you AFK out in the open in modern Minecraft. And in modern Minecraft, if you beds are another one, another big power scaling thing that makes beta a better version to play hardcore in is beds in beta Minecraft would not and do not um, let you sleep if you have access to outside and too low of a light level, and instead you will get jumped by a creature. And with how much damage monsters do in beta, which is roughly like 1.25 times modern Minecraft, and the fact that you have no passive healing from your hunger bar, because in modern Minecraft, if you have your hunger bar at least 3 drums or more full, then when you get hurt, you'll actually heal a bit for a little while before the hunger goes down. So if you, so there's no extra healing, there is a little bit extra damage, and when you get jumped by these mobs, I had a very close call with a skeleton, my first night on the beta Minecraft server, because it almost killed me,
I have a
and
question.
I
So,
lost my,
sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
would you care to explain to the viewers how this nightmare system works? Because I feel a lot
I
of
just
newer
did, but yeah.
players.
So yeah. I'm not sure because the wiki only says it's about light level, but I know that's not true because we did some testing just by accident, trying to build our house. The only way we could get it to stop having the nightmare system for sure, definitively, without any chances for nightmares to happen, is if you have a pretty good lighting, so light right next to your bed is perfect, and make sure that you have no access to the outside. So that means like if there, for instance, our base, technically you could have walked without any doors. You could have walked right to the outside, and that also, I think, is the reason why we kept on having nightmares as well. Plus, part of our ceiling was dirt, so try to avoid dirt ceilings. Again, this is not a for sure definitive, and I might be wrong. I would love to see the code for it and have a perfect understanding of the system, but that is my tips and tricks. Basically, it's designed pretty well in retrospect to the design. When people were always arguing about how it wasn't that great, but it was designed pretty well. If you build just a normal house, you will probably never get a nightmare ever. You'll probably forget that's even a feature of beta Minecraft. It really just avoids people taking beds and building what I like to call chest shelters, which people do a lot when they are playing modern Minecraft, where they basically just have a bunch of chests, crafting table, furnace, and a bed outside, and never do anything else.
So why did they remove it from modern features or like modern versions? Why did it get removed?
I don't
It seems like a
have
smart
a
feature.
reason to why, but what I do know is people were complaining about it, and like a definitive reason, I should say. But people were complaining about it, and it was a mostly forgotten feature because most people have common sense, at least back then, and built houses or at least holes in the ground that would accommodate for their needs. Um, that resembled houses in some manner. And I also note that in new versions of Minecraft, this is even worse because of the change they made to mob spawning to be below. Before it was always below 7 light level. This made it so during dusk, monsters could spawn It also meant you needed more torches to make a place completely mob proof. And although I dislike the extra torches because I find the torches that you need in beta to be kind of spammy, you kind of just have to keep on doing it until they stop spawning. But I will say, with having them spawn during dusk, it means that you are more often than not going to interact with mobs before you sleep in your bed. It usually becomes this thing where it isn't the sun it being literally pitch black that you go, oh shit, I need to sleep. It becomes more of a, I just almost died to a creeper, I'm gonna go sleep the night away type of feeling where it's a more narrow escape. In modern Minecraft, they've changed this so mobs can only spawn at light level 0 to quote unquote make it less confusing for new players. And this is the real reason, by the way. I looked at it on a Minecraft wiki, if I remember correctly, and I hate it. It was added instead of the glare. Originally, the glare was going to be used for that purpose in during the mob vote for the Allay and Copper Golem. However, even though that whole thing was kind of fucked up, um, the glare got the lowest votes, and so Mojang just decided to change it, even though they were completely misinterpreting the reasoning why we disliked the glare, because we kept on memeing the fact that the glare was basically F3 screen, and we already had that without having to obtain it in some manner.
Interesting. I don't know why people removed. I don't know, understand why they removed the light level 7. I actually liked being able to actually go out and, before it got pitch black, hunt Endermen, especially on those older versions where, you couldn't barter with piglins to get your Ender pearls. You actually had to go out and hunt them. So it made it decently easier, and definitely, I would say definitely easier to, um, like for your base to put torches to know where mobs have been spawning so you can actually spawn proof it at dusk before you have to go to bed. I feel like that would I feel like that really helps it out a lot, even for I would say new players could figure it out decently fast. I don't understand why they would change it though.
The light level thing is a completely it's a way more of a technical Minecrafter thing to begin with. I mean, in theory, the light level thing altogether could be easily said to a new player. You could just say something along the lines of, well, you have to light it up more. It's not lit up. They can still spawn even if it's not completely dark. It needs to be, a little brighter. And I feel like that would suffice. It wouldn't be that difficult. I do see why Mojang changed it. The fact that there's no indication on what makes the light level bright enough, it makes sense. I just think that was a key feature in making the game more difficult when it comes to specifically mob spawning during dusk. Um, One of my most favorite mods of all time is Better Than Adventure. I do dislike some things with it because I think it makes Minecraft feel too similar to Terraria with some of its features that it adds. However, it makes it so beds cost cloth, which you have to get from zombies. And this feature alone means that even if we had features like we do in modern Minecraft, like the light level 0 type thing, you have to at least interact with a zombie at least once in order to make a bed. And I think that's really important because there are some people who play on hard mode and still never interact with monsters ever. And that's pretty crazy, especially if they're playing hardcore. They build walls, all the lights. There's no challenge at all. They're just playing it so cautiously. And even though that is for sure a part of the challenge is being cautious, but there should be a little bit of a random chance still in there, um, because it feels like in hardcore, if you get wood and iron, you're set for life, and all that requires is a little mining trip after the very first bits of wood you get. I can get that within a Minecraft day.
I definitely agree with that. I feel like the even the progression system is a little messed up in Minecraft because all in a single Minecraft day, I could get full iron and full iron tools. In beta, you can do that, but here's the thing: you have to factor in the nightmares, the fact that you don't have a base where you're gonna sleep, I mean, you can dig a hole in the ground, but like, who wants to do that? This is it
On
must
top of that, you would have to make a bed, which,
as well.
first of all, you need iron to get more than one wool from a sheep. So that means you have to find three sheep. And finding three sheep isn't the most difficult thing in the world. However, in beta, because of the way mobs spawn, it takes a second to find all three sheep. Um, I have once not been able to make a bed in a very long time because I literally could not find any sheep. I even went to our like mass mob farm that made like a bunch of mobs fall down, and I had to wait like 10 minutes before I got wool. And maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe that's a glitch with the server, to be completely honest. Folia is very glitchy, in my opinion, when it comes to mobs specifically and mob mechanics. But in my opinion, that makes the game a little better because it means that you have to really struggle to get a bed, which means in beta, your first priority is building some type of base, even if it's a dirt one. Um, and in modern Minecraft, a lot of people don't make bases at all. And when they do make a base, they make this big, elaborate, overly detailed base possible. But in beta, you're kind of forced to make something of your own. It makes the more common man be able to build something they're proud of. Whereas in a modern Minecraft, you feel like you're overshadowed by a lot of creators. And even though people can say things like, well, don't look at modern creations and builds, that's too much to ask for. I mean, the ecosphere of Minecraft is so big. There's so many YouTubers out there, even like us. I mean, we're trying to make a YouTube video about Minecraft right now because we know there's going to be a target audience that is ready and willing to accept information like this.
Yeah.
So you have such a big game, and because of that, there are really good builders in Minecraft. And so a lot of people never end up building bases because they feel like that they're always going to be inferior. And that adds a type of it ruins the game a little bit. Like in a multiplayer world specifically, this is mostly a multiplayer example. You in modern Minecraft, you end up just kind of living in a village because it's way easier to get resources. It's way easier to not have to build your own house. You just put a bunch of chests everywhere. You eat off of the free food and sometimes free diamonds that are in village chests, and you never really end up going mining for a long time. And when you do, you go into caves that are full of diamonds. Literally, you get like 32 diamonds after you go into like a giant cave. And then you come back out, and it's like, at the end of the day, what's the point? You've spent like 3 days on Minecraft, you haven't built anything. You've been only working towards progression, and you haven't really had a challenge this entire time. And then the moment you get a challenge is trying to get netherite, right as you're at the end. You're like, oh, finally. And what does Mojang do? They tie netherite to a structure. And that's how they make it difficult. They make it just rare. And the thing is that's just random chance. There's a random chance you find a smithing template immediately. And oh my god, you are literally like 5 days into the game and you've already completed everything. You've killed the Ender Dragon. You've got netherite armor. You have a shield. You have totems of undying. You are literally unkillable. You could go fight a warden, square up 1-to-1, fisticuff style. Maybe you spend the next 5 days getting an enchantment table, making sure everything's enchanted and nice, or maybe somebody else has already been doing that while you've been getting netherite armor. And at that point, you are so unbelievably unkillable that you are essentially playing a god. You have entered creative mode. Everything you farm now has to be in these mass quantities because you want to build the biggest structure possible because you're essentially playing creative mode with a bunch of friends, just with a different coat of paint and some funny little hearts in the corner. Well, in beta, even when you're at the top, you're still wearing iron armor. There is no true end to the goal. There is no end armor. Sure, diamond armor is an end armor, but it does the exact same amount of defense as iron armor. When you get diamond armor, you're really just showing off your clout because you go mining more than you go building. If you're wearing iron armor, you're probably spending more time building really cool skyscrapers or a sick ass base.
And if you wear
And this
cloth or the wool,
uh,
you're nuts.
or Yeah, if you wear leather, then you're you like killing cows. You like the sound of cows dying. Um,
That's pretty valid. I mean, I think like what you just said, you just speaked. It's just like fact after fact after fact. And the thing is, in beta, it's you okay. In modern Minecraft, the goals are already set. You do a list certain of things, and you feel accomplished, and then you get bored of that world and throw it away. The thing about beta is you have to set your own goals for yourself. You cannot just
right from the start.
right from the start. You figure out what you want to do, not what the game tells you what to do. You figure it out. And there's so many simple palettes of blocks that anybody can build anything insane. Like this house today, well, actually not today. Actually, last night we just finished on the server, and I finished this today. Yeah, and we did this all in a night, and we actually didn't even really think about it. We just kind of put it together in our heads, and it ended up looking like this. I
It
think,
just kind of came in piece to piece to
yeah,
piece. And sure, it might be a little hodgepodge, but we've gotten compliments all across the server because of how rich our base feels. I think it's all the glass. I think all the glass
I think it's
definitely
how
helps sell the
creative it
rich
is. Like,
vibe.
and definitely wood.
Yeah, yeah. The
Um,
wood and like green. Oh, I love it. I love this base. This is definitely my favorite base
This
I've
is
been on the server
one
so
I've
far.
built. This is definitely one of my favorite bases I've built, or at least had a hand. He mostly focused on the bottom while I was up here on the top. But see how many, like, just basic blocks. You get sandstone, which is literally like one of the most basic blocks ever. Wood, which is also a basic block. Leaves, which is even more basic block. And you can just make
I'm
this
done.
thing
I'm
that's
done here.
beautiful.
They gotta see this
Oh
part.
yeah,
This part is
I think
probably this is probably the best example of like using a really simple block and making it
and we
look
have these.
amazing.
I think this green leaves like really makes it stand out more. And I don't know. I just like the paintings as well. I feel like it fits the vibe, and especially with the trapdoors and the glowstone, it makes it all come together nice and without any mob spawning. But
And I think this room and the above room are perfect examples about how even in beta Minecraft, the building styles are so wildly different that you can build.
you can
You're not really limited as much as people like to make it out to make it, you know, make you out to believe. And there is some compromises. As a redstoner, I have some problems specifically with the absence of hoppers and comparators, but other than that, I find the game to be quite awesome. Oh, speaking of, we just had somebody do a commission for us
beautiful.
where we had this Batman chicken put up on here, made by the man himself, Borastic Squid,
Shout
and
out,
he has put all of these everywhere around our current neighborhood, which is
Coolberhood.
Kulberhood, and he makes all of these very creative chickens. I mean, there's a million different varieties, and it's the same 80 blocks that are in beta Minecraft that he's just been, you know, making into different structures. I mean, we have an Enderman chicken, there's an ice chicken, there's a Steve chicken, there's a cookie chicken, there's a skeleton chicken, there's a snow chicken.
It's
I
like
think there's
Pokemon,
way
dude.
more, but this is just the ones that we can see.
It's like Pokemon.
Um,
You get
yeah, it is
well,
like Pokemon. There's a flame chicken.
that's the lava
And
chicken.
that
That's
was
the
the
lava
Batman
chicken.
chicken.
Yeah, that's the lava chicken over there.
Oh
That's
yeah,
like
there's also the Netherrack chicken. Hold on,
ooh,
where's the?
it's
There's
over
like
here. It's
three
over here.
different Netherrack
Come on.
chickens.
It's over here. You
There's
just
like a normal chicken, an infested chicken, and a Netherrack chicken right next to each other.
if you go through our secret painting, which is totally not very secret, here's I think this is the netherite chicken, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another flame chicken over there. There's two flame chickens.
Oh, here's one. Here's
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. Here's the
infested.
infested one. Yeah, this is the one I was
It's
talking about. The
beautiful.
infested one. But
Uh,
yeah, it's just all of these very basic block palettes. I mean, there's a creeper roller coaster from Stampy Head's World. I think
it's
that's the
beautiful.
recreation.
I can't see
There's a
it.
bunch of there's these hobbit houses. I didn't even notice these
Hobbit house.
hobbit
Oh
houses.
yeah, I
Hold
came
on.
over here a minute ago
Whose
and
is
I
this?
saw it. It was really cool.
Whose is
This is
this?
beautiful.
Whoa,
I
this
do
is
like this.
cool.
Skuko Estates. Welcome to our home. Please don't look for steal. Thank you. Okay. I like the bed style.
This
I
has
like
gotta
how
be
they
secret
did it.
painting. Where's the door?
It's over here. It's this one.
Where's
It's
the
this one
door?
for sure. I found it. It's right
Oh my
here.
god, it is real. It is
Yeah, I
real.
figured. Nothing
No,
in here.
there's nothing.
Yeah. But
Empty.
I do like the space. Shout out let's see. Echoes and scooters. I do like the house. Very nice house. Would
It's
come
an
here.
amazing house.
Like the like this oh Let's see what else we got here.
I love I love the vibe it gives. It feels so warm in here. Like
It feels like a
dead
hobbit
ass.
hole. It feels like a damn hobbit hole.
When I went to the Hobbit Hole, it feels like one of those inns, or not inns, but like those hotels I went to in Ireland. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of like an Irish hotel.
Yeah, it does look
Um,
beautiful.
but yeah, there's a bunch, and there's a lot more wood types than you really think about in beta Minecraft. Even though there's only one plank type and one type of doors, one type of trapdoors, which helps with uniformity. If you really need to, there's also the different wood plank types. There's three. There is spruce, birch, and oak, which you might think are not the greatest, but birch is one of the best ways to give a gradient block, and spruce is one of my favorite blocks for an alternate wood color for like these planks. It really helps give a contrast to some builds. I mean, look at this. This is unfinished, but I'm sure amazing. I would say a netherrack roof. I'm a big fan of netherrack
Oh my
roofs. I
gosh.
don't think Wooliest is.
Yeah,
Wooliest isn't the biggest fan
I
of
like the
netherrack roofs.
ladders, the detail. I don't know. That just it makes it like feel connected, like it's actually being held together.
Oh
And
yes,
what he
and the
said,
greebling. The
what you said,
greebling that people do on these servers are do amazing.
um, what you said earlier, he uses a lot of Blitz here. He uses a lot of trapdoors and levers to give structural support. I mean, like it's literally non-functioning, but the fact that it looks like it could hold up is like just
Oh, these
impressive.
buildings are great examples of
Yes, right
using
there.
birch as an alternate white.
Personally, I'm not a big birch fan, but if you use it as a color scheme like this to contrast with the white wool, I feel like it pops out and makes it
I think birch is a
great.
tree is one of my favorite trees. Probably because I live in Maine. There's a lot of birch trees around here.
Birch is decent
They
for a
remind
tree
me
in
of
my
home.
opinion. I'm more of a spruce guy or dark oak if we're playing modern, but yeah, um, oak is always nice as well. I do like the stair you built. This is very nice too. Very creative. But yeah, the way he uses the levers here, as you can see, like it makes you
Yeah,
think that it's being held up. Like,
it's not the most, it's kind of it's just pretend. That's a lot of
yeah,
what Minecraft beta is. A lot of these builds, they're just barely look what they're supposed to look like, but a lot of it's just pretending. Like a lot of like if you build a TV in modern beta, it's usually just two note blocks and then like some
yeah.
black wool blocks, and people know that's a TV. I mean, I was playing a classic server. Talk about really old. I was playing a classic server a while ago, and I saw a red wool couch that was like not correctly scaled or anything inside of a living room, but it was one of my favorite creations because even with a classic palette, which is only like what 20 blocks or something like that,
28,
they
I
still
believe.
did so well with making their house feel like it stands out and like looks like something.
So, what would you say to sum up this episode or our first
I
episode?
would say that modern Minecraft, especially with like structures with items in them and the items you have access in the new PvP system, I would say modern Minecraft is hilariously more easier compared to beta Minecraft to the point where it's not even funny. Like it is so insanely easy to just be immortal and never die that it is kind of funny that anyone considers Minecraft a game for adults. And that's a thing, right? That's something people do say. People say things like, "Well, Minecraft's a game made for kids." And that's not true. Modern Minecraft is a game made for kids. Something that's targeted towards a younger audience who has a harder time playing the game. But if you play an older version of the game, even though you have less and sometimes there are features you really do wish were there. You have a game that is something you could play forever and feel like you are really accomplishing things.
I would say even if beta wasn't hard for you, try going back to alpha. You want to talk about hard? Alpha probably doubles that even in comparison. Alpha didn't even have beds, I believe, in one of the versions. So basically, you had no way to skip the night. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like alpha would be definitely harder than beta, but beta's like just I don't know. Beta's like has a special feel to it that I don't think modern Minecraft could ever
Beta
replicate.
1.7.3 was the perfect update for difficulty scaling in particular, which is why I tried making it the subject of today's video. when I was talking with our friend here, Wooliest. Um, and in theory, 1.8 was fine. It was just 1.8. The reason why people dislike 1.8 in beta, it's not even the worst update ever. It didn't like make the end of the game. The reason why people really hate 1.8 is because it's the first time Minecraft was made marginally easier. I mean, in that update, we got sprinting and hunger bar, but the sprinting made it so you could basically outrun every mob in the game, and the hunger bar made it so you had to just consume more food and as a compromise. It didn't make the game harder, it just made the game more annoying while also becoming easier, which is why people dislike beta 1.8 so much and modern versions. And I would say that you're valid if you said that your favorite version to play Minecraft is like 1.12. That's still fine. Um, I would say though that any version before 1.8's release is considered, in my opinion, the definitive versions of Minecraft before it became so easy that it is no longer worth playing, in my opinion.
Especially when Mojang, sold it. I think that's when it started to go downhill for like I want to say it started to go downhill difficulty scale and just like creativity wise. I want to say in the art direction and update direction that Microsoft kind of put Mojang in 100%.
Anyways, that's all I have for today's episode. How about you?
I have nothing else. I'm glad to end this episode on a good note and that we can, hopefully upload this. I think I'm gonna do unedited. I feel like this was really good. So I want to say thank you all guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we hope to see you on Modern Beta. And if you haven't joined already, I really do recommend. It's a great server. We can meet new people. I met Bilbs on here, and we, built this. We freaking made a podcast. So yeah, I do recommend it. And I want to say you all have a great day and beta it up. I guess. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the end.
Modern beta.
Modern Beta.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Bye.